Well, here we are, boys. We're just coming into a place here this morning called Wattle Bank, and just going to list it here. It's a 812 acre irrigation property. It's got a 100 acre centre. As you can see there, boys, a little set of stables, and that goes into the back of the yards, and then from there we come down to the car garage for the back of the house homestead. And this building just here is a cottage for a worker or workers on the place, and then of course we go down to the main homestead, which is down below there. Just another look at the main homestead there. It's quite a big homestead. It's the original homestead for Wattle Bank, and of course back to the cottage. Just looking here, we're looking at the sheds on the place. All the machinery that's on the place goes with the property. And there's a list I'll provide so that everyone knows exactly what's there. So this is a shed, buyers, looking at the machinery shed, and all that you see in the shed, all the machinery, as I say, there'll be a list of machinery going with it. And then looking out back over the 100 acre pad down there, and out behind the shed here, then we look back at the new pad that's going to be available, 80 acres, or could be made into 100 acres. There's another shed here, boys. Now, those two dryers there, they all go with the place, plus all the other equipment that's on the place, like sprayers and that sort of thing, all go with the place. As you can see, there's a 10,000 gallon poly tank out to the side of the shed there. As you can see here, boys, this is the centre pivot on the place, and it hasn't been used now for about 10 years, but it's all in very good condition. It needs about $4,000 to get it back in full operation again. The centre pivot is a 100 acre centre pivot, and it's actually been watering Callide roads, and also there's quite a bit of wind cap. Just looking over there, guys, we're looking at the homestead from the distance, from actually in the centre of the centre pivot pad, and coming back away from there, you can see there that's another pad that can be put into place. The vendor's talking about 80 acres available there, but probably more with a resurvey of the site for another centre pivot pad.
Hydrants in there as well.
Looking at this country just here, this is off the actual 100 acre pivot pad. There's around about 30 acres in there that can be and has been irrigated before, and there's what did you say, Peter? Two 4-inch hydrants in there as well to use that area.
Can you cattle there by the look of it?
Yeah. Well, I was just looking down from, this is where the coming down from the diesel tank that supplies the diesel to the pump. There's no pump here at the moment because it hadn't been irrigated for quite a while, but this is looking down onto the river and where the pump actually goes in. And we'll just get down a bit closer now. And just here, boys, just looking at this, that's where the pump goes in just there and pumps out to the centre pivot. And as you can see there, that this part of the river here remains like that all year round, and of course it gets higher, but it doesn't get much lower. And there's water running down there from Edenban Weir, which is basically going through to go out to the powerhouse from here. Just looking from the actual pump station where the pump goes, looking back up to the top of the bank of the river and back. Just looking here, I'm just going to zoom up there. That you can see, that's Edenban Weir there, and I'll just draw back from there, and you can see this is the river coming back down, and we're on the northern boundary of the block, and there's the original weir down there, and I'll get a better shot of that in a minute. Now this creek coming off to the side here, this is Plantain Creek, and it actually backs up quite a ways back up into the property and into the neighbour's place as well, of course. But as you can see, you can hear the river running here. It runs all the time here because the water's being let down for the powerhouse. of course. Just looking down here now at that little weir, which was the original weir before Eden Band was built, and you can see it going over the weir there, little weir, and back down the river. And that river, of course, is frontage right all across the front of this 812 acre block. Just looking here once again, buyers, at the river. Now there's around about approximately 2 kilometre frontage to the Fitzroy River, from this corner right back to the other corner. Now this is looking at this second surveyed area. There's 80 acres here in this block. It's basically, with a bit more work, ready to put the 80 acres in, but with some resurvey you'd be able to make it into a 100 acre pivot site. So you can see what I'm talking about there. Very good.